Today, the House Judiciary Committee held a hearing on the unnatural explosion in so-called gender-affirming care cases. Well, to no one's surprise, the radicals didn't take seriously what is truly a trend of civilizational importance.
This hearing is a despicable exercise and a contemptible use of the subcommittee's time and power.
You know what's actually despicable? Is that what he said? Well, coercing vulnerable children into life-altering decisions under the guise of health care.
It's caused permanent changes to my body. My voice will forever be deeper, my jawline sharper, my fertility unknown. I look in the mirror sometimes and I feel like a monster. I will never be able to breastfeed. I struggle to look at myself in the mirror at times. And I have massive scars across my chest, and the skin grafts that they took of my nipples are weeping fluid today. Everything that I went through did nothing to address my underlying mental health issues that I had.
But Democrats do not care about the truly vulnerable in our society.
It's a cynical and frankly dangerous political attack on transgender children and their families, driven not by science or facts, but by polling and political strategists determined to mobilize conservative voters through fear.
You know what fear is, Congresswoman Scanlon? Being forced as a young woman to get naked in front of a biological male against your will.
My teammates and I were forced to undress in the presence of Leah, a 6'4" tall biological male, fully intact with male genitalia, 18 times per week. Some girls opted to change in bathroom stalls, and others used the family bathroom to avoid this.
That's infuriating. Next time the left claims to care about the rights of women, of children, remember their decision to look away from the horrors and frankly encourage the horrors that are being perpetrated by a greedy and frankly sick political and medical class. Joining me today is one of today's witnesses, Jennifer Bauwens, who's director of the Center for Family Studies at the Family Research Council. Doctor, I was riveted by your testimony and the testimony of others. You've been a clinician providing trauma therapy to kids for over 25 years. What is this trans indoctrination doing to them?
Well, Laura, this whole issue, I mean, remember, we're talking about a psychological diagnosis. And what's happened is it's become a human rights issue for a lot of progressive political folks. And the problem is with that is it hides all of the bad research that goes along with this issue. So instead of having an open discussion in this hearing about the nature of the research that's used to promote invasive, highly invasive surgical procedures and hormonal and puberty blockers, instead it's just, we're dismissed because, well, this is a human rights issue instead of a psychological diagnosis.
Well, and in the diagnostic manual, gender dysphoria, is it still listed as a mental disorder? Yes?
Well, it's in the DSM-5 TR. So, I mean, people can twist it whichever way they want. It's in the manual. So it's the manual for mental disorders.
So when you see this now growing push beyond what was documented today at the hearing, to actually cut parents out of the equation and subvert parental rights in these decisions, that's a growing trend now as well, Doctor.
Yeah, it's a growing trend, and it's very alarming because usually when you treat a child, you try to include the family because you're gonna have a better outcome for that child. And what we're seeing now is it's almost like an extension of the foster care system, so that the child becomes a ward of the state, and the state imposes their worldview or their ideology onto that child and into that family. And this is very destructive long term. I mean, we're getting a taste of it, but if we continue down this path, this is going to be very tragic for our society.
Well, you're going to have a lot more young women testifying on Capitol Hill, telling those horror stories. Jennifer, thank you.